in the zone, 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 podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, 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 in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, 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 in the zone, podcast.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the In the Zone podcast. It is your boy, B. Foster. Brian Foster's in the building. Hey, happy summer. I hope you are getting it in out there. It's coming to a close soon. The kiddos are going back to school. Folks are taking the kids back to college. Well, actually, that just means a little bit more summer for us adults.
Already at college?
Yeah, folks are going back. Folks are going back. Dropping them off.
No.
You ready for the summer to be over?
I mean, it will be Monday for me. Kids start 7th grade at a new school.
Is that over for you, though? That's over for her, not for you.
I mean, my life don't really change. I'm still going to be working, so I don't, and you all know I'm like a homebody, so it ain't like all the kicking it stops because it never really started.
Because it never really started.
It's the same, like.
All right. Well, I hope you all are getting ready to get it in for this last little month. Lots still going on in the city. Still lots of festivals. Still lots of time to get out to the beaches, the boats, all that good stuff.
Festivals? What festivals?
Oh, there's still food fest, wing fest, all types of stuff is going on.
That's the point.
Yeah, not everything gonna be blackety black.
That's unfortunate. So
We did most of our blackety black things.
We did. We needed to have a black something in August. Somebody figure that out. I don't really care what it is.
All right. She put that on you all.
Yeah.
All right. So we are gonna start with our first segment.
Fight me.
Let's fight. Can we get that video up, please?
Whites only community. Only white people are going to be allowed. Oh, probably shouldn't listen to that. So only white people are going to be allowed. What do you mean people aren't mad about that? Okay, but they're supposed to get really mad about it. Well, how about not just only whites, but no Jews either. We want whites only that are non-Jews. And we have the best attorney. Nobody's suing us over this? What do you mean nobody cares? Just laughing? No, Arkansas, the great state of northern Arkansas, who doesn't want to come to this community of ours? No one wants to come to Arkansas. The real estate agent told us everyone wanted that piece of property. Okay, well, so we'll just start in Arkansas, and then we're going to move to Missouri. Missouri's even prettier. Still nobody? How about I say it louder? Whites only community. We're going to broadcast it, let everyone know only whites, non-Jewish. How segregated can we get this? Still no. Okay, so we'll call this whole thing Return to the Land. Does that make people mad? It does, because it's funny coming from white people returning to a land that was never theirs. Okay, so we'll call it Return to the Land. We'll start in Arkansas, expand to Missouri. What if we say we're going to go into all 50 states? Does that make people mad? They're still ignoring us. How is the top liked comment, no one gives a shit? Okay, well we need to set up some interviews. The second most liked comment is Good Riddance Whiteys. Okay, now I'm offended. We need to get this on national news because we want people pissed off, because that's the only way we can feel anything emotionally, you know. Who's gonna build our homes? What about the Mexican restaurants? Who's gonna open and run those? I don't know if we thought this all the way through.
All right, y'all. So obviously, if you weren't aware, didn't catch it, that was a tongue-in-cheek video. She was kind of mocking this whole whites only community that they're talking about building in Arkansas.
That they've already built.
You're right. That they built. That we're saying please do, and good riddance to. Sean, what do you think? What do you think about not the video necessarily, but this whole movement?
First, okay, so I got 2 points, right? One, there are already all white communities. I don't understand like what's different.
It's called
Naperville. I'm not following the whole southern part of Illinois, Carbondale, East St. Louis, Edwardsville. Oh, white. I don't understand what.
Not East St. Louis.
Well, okay, not East St. Louis. Sorry, but the rest of the places I don't know but have driven through scarily are already all white. I don't understand how that's different than what's already been happening.
Yeah, but hold on. But they're saying that. But that's like we choose not to live there. They're telling us we can't live in this community.
There's still sundown towns.
They're telling us we can't live in this community.
They're already sundown towns.
Legally.
Look, I have said this on this podcast before. I probably should stop saying it because I do work with white people. I have little to no desire to live with white folks. So this is perfectly fine with me. Go, bye, peace. Now, my question is for you.
What's the question?
Who lives around white people?
I kind of really don't, but go ahead.
Yeah, there are white people in Baltimore and Homewood.
They're around.
They're there.
Sure.
So what happens like if they revolt and say we taking our town back? we want our high school back.
From who?
Out, y'all, Negroes.
Good luck with that.
Like, y'all, they want y'all out.
Come
y'all go over to Country Club Hills or Harvey or Robbins.
Come get it.
From what? You go stand outside to shoot school with your Glock? Is that what's gonna happen?
My house, the school, the playground, the shotgun, all of that.
You got a lot of places to cover.
I got a lot of family with guns.
That look. Everybody's going like, so how's this gonna work? Allison gonna be outside of Homewood Flossmoor. Chase gonna be outside
I'll go to the school.
Okay.
Allison will be at the house.
Okay.
We'll send Grayson to the playground.
With his AK-47.
And Chase is gonna be on patrol, walking around with her body armor on.
That's quite the strategy.
I'm just telling you.
I mean, I'm more interested in people who live around all white people, their feelings about that, because I live in South Shore. I mean, there are white people, but
your question is, how do they feel about people feeling like, okay, let's remove it from this Arkansas thing, right? We don't care about that little movement. You want to go live in some plot of white land by yourself in Arkansas. Blessings.
I don't think they're the only, I don't think their feelings are just them having those feelings.
Absolutely not.
I think it's a very widespread, it's a widespread feeling.
I'm cool with it. Anyway.
So you want to live around all black people?
I'm cool with that too.
Okay.
As long as they're the right kind of black people.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying.
What are the talented 10?
Listen.
How much I hate that bullshit.
Let me tell you how I feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. If I buy a new TV and I don't have to break the box down and put it in my neighbor's yard so they can rob them, then I'm around the right kind of people.
That's the parameter.
That's my parameter.
Well, then I live in a safe neighborhood because I don't have to do that.
You don't think you have to do that?
I don't have to do that. Anybody breaking in for nobody's TVs over there?
Okay.
I live where I live. I lived there for a few years. Now, I'm not saying no activity doesn't happen, but I have heard nobody. And I got the little alerts, the little ring alerts. Mm-hmm. They still in cars. They not still in TVs.
I'm exaggerating for effect. But
they'll even steal dogs, but they not stealing TVs.
The fact that they stealing anything.
People are thieves. They're thieves at Homewood Flossmoor.
No, they don't live in Homewood Flossmoor.
They just steal gnomes.
They come over from
Harvey. They stealing gnomes.
They come from Harvey and Dalton and be stealing our shit.
No, y'all got Caitlin over there stealing the gnomes because they might look good in her yard.
I mean, If Caitlin want to know, let's give Caitlin all the power in the world.
Because stealing on me, still theft.
Gnomes are terrible unless they're filled with ecstasy. Like in
what?
Did you ever see that movie?
Clearly not. Because I'm like, what?
The movie where the high school party went out of control, Project X.
I have seen Project X.
And remember, he broke the gnome and it was full of ecstasy.
I don't.
Okay, you don't remember.
Am I the only one that don't remember this part? Maybe I didn't watch the whole thing.
Maybe not.
But
if the gnome's full of ecstasy, that's the only reason I would care about a gnome.
Because it's filled with coke.
Ecstasy, different.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ecstasy? Why would you care if it was filled with ecstasy? Did you put the ecstasy in the gnome?
Maybe.
First of all, I'm sick of you.
Anyway.
And second of all, it's time for us to move on.
Transition. So our next segment, we're going to talk about code switching. And is it still a thing? If it is, should it be? Do you feel a little less of yourself every time you get into a situation where you think you have to code switch professionally, personally, or otherwise? So we are happy to have one of our faves come and join us. She probably has a very unique perspective around this, which is why she's here. My girl, Erica. E, where you at?
Do we clap? Do we like
clap for her. Bring her in.
do we
And I hope she's close.
It's taking me a minute to stand up now.
She acts like she's 90 years old. What is
She got
happening
that tight
here?
ass skirt on. She
It
can't move
ain't
that
even
fast.
tight. Shut up. Is
What's
this mic on? Is this thing on?
It is on. Don't
Hey,
worry about
y'all.
it. What's going on, E?
What's going on? Hey, y'all.
Come on, join in.
All right.
We still working out the guest intro.
No,
We're gonna get a clapping track. That's what we're gonna do.
All right, Sean, kick us off.
All right. So we code switching.
Oh, it's just me? Oh, okay.
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh,
and we're going to talk
you
about
hold down the fort. This ain't been the first time you've been on the
Okay,
guest
I'm
on
just
the-
saying.
our second
Okay,
guest
I'm good.
couldn't
I'm
code
good.
switch. His job told him that he could not talk about
He
code
had
switching on
to,
the
he had
show.
to stay talking like this guy.
No,
Yeah, guy.
legitimately, he said they told me I can't do this shit. So
Did they really?
Oh.
He asked them.
yes, he want to. Hey,
What? What do you do for a living? We're gonna
protect
ask your job.
your bag at all costs.
I
don't think that anybody in your corporate
I'm gonna.
anybody in
gonna-
your corporate office would have seen our little podcast, but don't risk it.
I am going
don't-
to inbox him because I need to know where he.
What
works.
do you do? That our little
gotta know.
podcast matters.
You never know.
See if we
who-
were
I
Joe
gotta know.
Rogan.
You'll never know who sees what.
I
But
gotta
anyway,
know. Okay.
I guess first we need to define what code
Yes.
switching
Yes.
is.
Please. Please.
Erica,
Yeah.
we'll go around the room for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
What is, from your point of view, code switching?
Okay. So I don't believe that code switching is speaking proper English.
Okay.
I think that code switching is when you resort back to your native dialect.
Okay. So if I went and start
I'm going
speaking
somewhere.
Spanish,
I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
Correct. When you resort back to your native dialect in settings where you're the only person that speaks that way. I say that because I don't believe that the way that we speak in African American culture is necessarily slang or ghetto. I am a believer that AAVE is a language, African American Vernacular English. I believe our language is a language, just like Spanish, just like French. We have our own dialect.
Mhm.
And so I don't believe that code switching is when you go back to your native dialect. I think it's when you, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I think that when you code switch, you switch back to your native dialect, but it's not that you're not speaking proper English.
You think that is code switching?
Code switching is when you, confuse myself. Hold on.
I think what you're
I
trying
think you
to
got
say
it
is,
reversed.
I said it backwards.
Yeah, I think you said
I
it
think
backwards.
our natural dialect, right? The
Mhm.
AV, whatever the acronym is,
AAV.
that's our natural dialect, and
Right.
we shift from that when we are
Into when we code switch.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's what I thought she meant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
I thought you meant too. And I agree with that. I think so it's interesting story, very fitting. Last night we were at Grayson's. Just my son has just moved into junior high, and the assistant principal, the assistant principal for the 6th grade, is a black man, probably in his mid 40s, so early 40s, something like that. And he's doing the whole presentation, and he's very professional. But he got his little black twang in the thing, right? He's like,
Mhm.
your baby's this, and
Mhm.
look, you got to lock those Jordans up, and all these little things, right?
Mhm.
Mostly black audience.
They
but
gotta lock the Jordans up and Homewood Flossmoor. I'm just saying, we was talking about
you
theft.
hold on.
Child, you
Kid-
don't even know.
Kids steal everything. That don't matter. That's different.
Ah, so there is theft in the suburbs. Who
Yeah.
knew? Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I steal lawn equipment all the time. Anyway, but anyway, So we get back, and then my wife was like, "Yeah, I didn't really think that's professional." Da 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 da. I was like, I completely disagree. I think he was 100% professional.
Yeah.
But he didn't completely switch off his blackness,
Mm-hmm.
right? To appeal to whoever was in that audience, and that's
Mhm.
what professional is.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that's what she necessarily was saying, but I think when we're talking about code switching,
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to throw a little, I got your back in there at a board meeting, is that too much? Oh, that was a little too urban, right? But if that's how I naturally speak, and I crush it at my job, and everything else is still pretty professional, but I throw a little bit of black
Of
spice
me.
in there,
A
a
little
little bit
meat.
of Lawry's in that joint.
Jesus.
Is that awful?
Sprinkle me.
So I don't disagree with that. I think there's a piece that we're missing here. It's not just the words, it's actually the tone, the delivery. When we go up 2 octaves when we're delivering our sentence, that is in fact the code switching. Because I can say, "Good morning, Brian, how are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
That's one dialect, right? "Hey guy, hi Brian, how you doing there? You doing well?" That's really swell. There
Why
you
would
go.
you say
That-
that?
I mean, but
that's so far.
it's the
That's so
tone that's
far.
really the change, right? It's really the changing that
it?
tone. It is
Is
the
it? 'Cause
tone.
some people
I think-
talk like
I think
some
it's-
people.
I
Some
mean,
people speak.
If you
Right.
naturally speak that way, then obviously you're not code switching. That's how you
Some people
speak.
I
speak that
think-
way.
But
Yeah, I
I've
think some people
definitely
speak that
been
way.
in meetings where I'm speaking 2 octaves higher than I normally do, and I'm
Oh,
sitting there thinking to myself,
yeah.
like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah. Well, then you're right.
Oh.
That's definitely
Yeah.
That's code switching.
That's,
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's definitely
Absolutely.
for sure.
And you need to do better.
I don't do it anymore.
Okay, good.
I don't.
We'll talk about that.
yeah,
later.
yeah.
All right. So I think we're saying that you define code switching as you unnaturally change the way your dialect, your sentence structure, the actual tone of your voice to try to appeal or appear more professional in certain settings.
And I also think there's a buy-in to get the other person comfortable, right? Like if you speak in a certain way, it's going to make the others more comfortable because you're speaking closer or exactly how they speak.
Let's dive into if that should even be the case.
Oh.
So Eric, I'll ask you this. You're at a high-powered corporate position. Salute to you for that, as a matter of fact. Come on.
Hey,
Black
couldn't do that
women
in no
doing our
office.
thing.
Black women doing their
Can't do that in a
thing.
minute. Hey.
So do you find yourself code switching? And if you do, how frequently?
I found myself code switching a lot more earlier in my career than now. Like now, what you get is what you get. Now I'm gonna show up professional. I don't necessarily use AAVE in every conversation. Sometimes I slip a little in on the side, you know. But I also think so no, today's me does not code switch nearly as much as young me code switched. But when I started my career, I was the only Black girl that worked with a whole office full of white people, right? So I, at that for survival state, assimilated, right? So I would, like the octaves, like you say. And I did that when I was show was, and in the earlier stages, in the earlier stages of my career, that is what I did. I completely code switched. I assimilated, but I still showed up authentically. And I'll tell you a story about that later because I'm gonna answer your question. But I still found a way, even in the midst of trying to, and to your point, trying to make others comfortable with me, which is kind of what we were taught and trained to do, right? You have to get to a certain level of comfortability in yourself before you can say, you're gonna take me as I am, or you're not gonna take me at all.
And I would also add to that, not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
When you say a certain level of comfortability, also a certain level of power.
Influence, power and influence. Yeah, for sure. But once I got to that, I stopped doing it less and less. Actually, I think for me, the turning point was COVID.
For a lot of people in a lot of ways.
I couldn't do it anymore after COVID. And I'll tell the story. I'll tell it a quick way. I at the time was on a team where the people who I support, I work in communications. The people who I supported from a comms perspective were North Shore, polo, khaki shorts, right?
Biff and Jan.
Biff, what is Biff and Jan?
So
Biff and Jan.
I was on a
Jan.
conference call during COVID. I led COVID communications for my organization, and I was on a call during COVID, and there were literally protesters outside of my house. There were helicopters flying around outside, and my boss was asking me about something so irrelevant that I literally just couldn't take it anymore. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna need a beat. It's protesters outside of my window, helicopters over my head. My kids just had COVID. My auntie just died last week from COVID. I have no more to give. I need a minute." And she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize." She's like, "I'm focused on what we're trying to do. I didn't think about it." And that was the minute I stopped, because I realized that when you have, to your point, when you have a certain amount of influence or power, those are the spaces where we need to show up authentically, because that's how you change the culture of an organization.
Facts. Sean, anything on it?
Definitely around the same time.
Because you work with a majority of non-African Americans.
For sure. So
Yeah.
I'm in consulting. I'm in tech. So it's definitely a lot of white people, a lot of Indians in my sphere, right? So definitely being in those spaces. And it probably had more to do with picking up how other people were speaking. So I was mimicking them just so I can be able to interject into conversations, to be taken more seriously when I say things. So I was definitely parroting them in the process. And to Erica's point, when COVID happened, and it was probably not so much COVID, it was more like the George Floyd, and my daughter's school had they sent out an email, and I did not appreciate the email because the email talked about how everybody was affected. And my response to the committee that drafted the email was, while I can appreciate that people want to feel a part, this does not affect everybody. This is very specific to a very specific demographic of people, and there's really nothing wrong with acknowledging that. Because if they were Jewish, you would do just that.
Facts.
So, and that was the moment I stopped code switching. Now, I will find myself, if I'm giving like a large presentation to 30, 40 people, I find myself slipping into it a little bit. Then I hear myself and I drag my little ghetto self back a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's still a struggle, because sometimes I will slide back into it unknowingly, because it's very ingrained in me, right? I've been doing tech for almost 10 years, so it's still there. But I do make a very concerted effort to show up authentically who I am. If I want to say A in a meeting, I'm just going to say it, and everybody's going to be fine. And what's interesting is I was on a meeting with my manager, and I said something about like me being professional. I can be more professional. She was like, "Chantel, you're very professional."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, but all my girl."
Yeah,
I
had this conversation with an African-American colleague of mine about how most of the pressures that we put on ourselves to show up a certain way are not driven by other people, they're driven by us. We feel the need to assimilate. Nobody's making us do it. We just get into these environments and we're like, "Oh, I gotta dress like this, I gotta talk like this, I gotta walk like this, because this was acceptable here," instead of saying, "No, I'm gonna just be me. I'm smart enough, I'm good enough, I'm talented enough to just be who I am." And I think that's where we get caught, especially early in career, right? That's where we get caught up. We get caught up in I have to prove myself. And in order to prove myself, I have to show that I'm just like the people in the room with me, instead of valuing the diversity of who we are and being willing to stand on that no matter what. Now, I'm not saying when I started my career 30 years ago that I was that person. I'm not. But I could very well see myself today in this environment in corporate coming to work just that way. I've always wore weaves. I've always wore ponytails. I've always wore my makeup. I've always had my nails. So it wasn't the aesthetic. But what I did was I went in the rooms and I talked like them, because I already didn't look like them, right? When you already don't look like the spaces you're going into, I think we feel the need to overcompensate with other things. So it's like, if I don't look like you, the least I can do is sound like you. I mean, I guess I got to find a way to relate to you in some way. So I think that that's what it was for me. I I've always been. I would show up at work with braids, weaves, ponytails. And what's crazy is I started, and I'll say this about us as a people. I started a new job. I wasn't management. I was maybe middle management. And I had a Black leader. And he was the only person that ever commented on the way I changed my hair and my nails.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I walked in the office, he would be like, "Oh, who are you this week?" He was one of those. Who are you this week? I'm Erica.
Yeah, I don't definitely with my hair. So
I'm
like,
I'm Erica. I'm Erica with a ponytail. I'm Erica with braids.
Because other folks are probably like, I like the way you switch
Right.
up. I wish I
They're
could
like,
do these
oh,
things. Like,
how did you? And what? Oh,
Uh-huh.
now I do not like the how long did that take question, but I'm past that now. At this point,
Yeah.
I understand it's just curiosity. But I used to hate the how long did that take question. I used to hate.
Hell,
the,
I hate the.
Oh,
how
makes me
did you
mad.
do that? Like, I'm like,
because they don't know. They don't know.
I don't ask them how
It's
they got their hair straight.
They don't.
It's
Do you have to?
curiosity. It's curiosity.
Some of them are not naturally straight.
You know they got a blow dry or perm. I mean, not a perm, a blow
Blow
dry.
dry.
They do have.
They
They do
doing
straighten
blow
us too.
dry
Some of them.
jobs.
Yeah.
I don't.
For sure.
I definitely. So I keep thinking about this story that happened to me when I was very early in my tech career. So I'm sitting there talking to. So I work with external clients. So I was talking to like a steer code for the external client, and he starts talking to me about Harold's. How much he loves Harold's, how he goes to the Harold's, and
That's my guy.
what's that the black suburb on the west side? Maywood. He's like, I go to Harold's on the. I was like, now I'm the only Black person in the room, and it's clearly a microaggression.
Is it?
That's a microaggression.
Oh, that's a super
Absolutely.
microaggression.
Hold on, wait.
And I would have said
That is a microaggression.
And I would have said, I don't even
like Harold's.
Which is what I said.
Yeah,
I was like, you know, I don't even like
But
Harold's.
hold on, is that a
What's that?
microaggression or is that him making an attempt to relate?
It is.
Yes.
It's an
Yes.
assumption.
Yes.
It's an assumption.
It's still
Yes.
a microaggression.
It's a microaggression.
Okay.
That's
1,000%.
You ain't asked.
I get
He didn't ask her about Browns.
It was other.
Who the hell eat Browns?
It was other people in the
People who
room.
eat fried chicken.
If he had asked me about Browns, then I would have been offended.
You should. That shit is disgusting. But no, he was. It was like it was 8 other people in the room,
I see what
all
you're saying.
white, one Indian. He's going on and on to me, directed to me, talking about Harold. So I
See, that'd have been. See, I would have taken it differently. That'd have been my dog after that. I'd have been like, let's go get some Harold's.
we were cool,
Really?
but I definitely he was trying a little too hard.
Well, sometimes they do that. Okay, let me say this though. So sometimes we switch even with each other though. And this,
Well,
and then I
oh,
want-
tell me more about that.
Yeah.
So we were at the tailgate for the football. I mean, the baseball game.
Baseball.
I'm at all different sports at the baseball game.
That
Friday.
means y'all have too many goddamn events. Anyway,
Whatever the case may be. And I'm over there, and I'm and then somebody said, "Hey, Brian," in the same conversation. "Hey, what's up with HG23 and blah 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 blah?" And I was like, "Well, so we have a particular line of gummies coming out, and there's pomegranate, and there's da 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 da."
So why did you do that?
I didn't mean to, but when it was time to talk about my business, I flipped.
And that's
But
what
was that
I'm
code
saying.
switching?
That's
or you
still
changed?
code
I don't
switching.
think so, and that's my
I don't
point.
know.
That's still
I don't
code
think
switching.
that speaking proper English is code
I
switching.
don't disagree.
think
What I'm
that's
saying
what
is, but
that
I
is.
completely 2 seconds earlier, I was like, "Girl, get the fuck out
You
of
were like, what
and
up,
then,
dog?
And they asked about my business, and I
Well,
eliminated
you should have
all of
because
that.
you were having a conversation about business, so you
My
should
point-
be using
my,
professional
my,
language.
my point is
But at
that
a baseball
sometimes
game, though, Erica,
no. But my point is sometimes code switching isn't necessarily negative, and I think it always gets a negative connotation. It doesn't necessarily
Okay,
have to.
I get where you're going with that. I don't think it's always negative, but I don't think it's always negative, but I think that there are people who that don't understand the difference between code switching and AAVE. If I was to walk into, let's say my native language was Spanish, right? And I walk into a business meeting and everybody is speaking English and I start speaking Spanish. They don't know what I'm talking about. They can't relate. They don't know what I'm talking about. The language is completely different. So why then would I walk into a room with people who don't speak AAVE and start going, AG, da, 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 talking with my hands and popping my hands and snapping? Like, why would I do
Right.
that?
Yeah.
They
Is
don't
that part of
understand that.
AAVE?
It is. That's cultural. Yeah, that's all
Absolutely
cultural.
is.
That is all cultural.
Let me ask this though. I
I never
want
thought about that. Like,
we're running up on time, and I'll make sure we hit a couple more of these questions.
I don't think that's true.
So we've all acknowledged that we've done it in whatever way, shape, and form you thought it took shape in whatever business situation or personal situation. How did it make you feel when you did it?
I'll say earlier in my career, it did make me feel a little ick.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like, and I'll tell the story about how I managed the ick when the microaggressions got too bad. But earlier in my career, it made me feel an ick. At this point in my career, I say whatever I want to say, and y'all just gonna deal with it. And I don't feel no way about it. But I'm still professional, and that's the difference. Like I'm gonna maintain professionalism, but I might throw a y'all in there. But I also understand that a lot of things that we call AAVE are just Southern dialect. Because when I talk with my non-Black colleagues that live in the South, a lot of the things that I say that are considered AAVE up here are things that they say. The y'alls and the girls and the
Southern drawl.
Southern drawl, right? It's not code switching when they say it, right? But it is when we say it. So I think we have this standard that's a little bit different. Because if I'm talking to my Southern colleagues and I'm like, hey, y'all, nobody says anything. But if I go into a room with a bunch of people that look like me and I'm like, hey, y'all, what's up? They're like, why would you say hi? Like,
right.
you know,
because we're so sensitive
sensitive to it, right? They don't care. So, or they,
I don't know if I agree they don't care.
I'm talking about my Southern people in the South.
Okay.
Like the people that be like, girl, and hey, girl. Like I have a colleague from the South, same level as me. The very first time I met her, she walked up to me and she said, well, we had talked online, but I walked up to her. She walked up to me at a meeting and she said, hey, girl, I've been wanting to meet you. I didn't take it as she was trying to relate. She's from the South. That's how they talk like that. Right. So anyway, early in my career, because I got tired of the microaggressions and I got tired of the how did you do this? How did you do that? And mind you, this was in a time when I believed that I needed to code switch in order to assimilate.
I hear you.
I mean, they thought I needed to code switch to assimilate, and there was this girl that kept asking me over and over and over again about my hair. Going back to your story about microaggressions, how do you do that? I'm like, it's a ponytail. Now, if you've known me for any amount of time, you know one day my hair will be down to here, the next day it'll be in a ponytail, and I do not care. She was like, oh, how did you do that? And I'm like, it's a ponytail. She's like, what do you mean it's a ponytail? I'm like, girl, people in Hollywood been wearing clip-on ponytails since the beginning of time. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, okay. So she kept asking questions over and over and over and over again. And one day,
Google is your friend, G.
One day, I was so sick of it. I said, come to the bathroom with me. I took her to the bathroom. I unclipped the ponytail. I said, hey, you do. It's like this. It's like they sell white texture of hair that is ponytails like this. Just go to Sally and tell them you want a ponytail. Stop bothering me about this ponytail.
Whole aisle full of it.
Stop bothering me about this ponytail. And guess what she did? Never asked me again. Shut it down. Just shut it down. I never had any. I mean, my hair changes so much.
I think that might.
My hair changes so much. But
it's all in the space of microaggressions.
It's all in the space of microaggressions.
We're talking about.
She made a microaggression statement, so I was following up.
Don't let Sean derail this conversation.
First of all, we derail every show.
I know. I'm trying to get us back on.
But I think they go hand in hand.
I know. I agree.
It all goes hand in hand. The reason that we code switch is because of microaggressions.
Very true.
Facts.
Yeah, she definitely brought that back.
That's what I was waiting on to circle around.
Wait, what was the question? Because I was all involved in this ponytail story.
Child, the question is, take this ponytail and go on away from me.
As a matter of take this ponytail.
Take this one and go.
And go and try it at home.
Please.
Yes.
Because she wore me thin.
How did you feel when you caught yourself doing it?
Well, if I catch myself now doing it, and I definitely have like an internal.
Or even in the past, how do you feel?
I can't really say I had any kind of reaction to it when I was doing it regularly, right? I think it's like chewing gum or breathing or using the bathroom. It's just, you do it. So there's no real feeling behind it. It really wasn't until I started examining the whys and analyzing why I did it and I decided to stop that now I have feelings around it. Like, do I feel insecure in this situation? Do I feel inadequate in some kind of way that I need to now speak in this vernacular or in this tone so that I can feel I'm constantly examining why I'm doing it, right? So I have more feelings about it now than I did 10, 15 years ago when I used to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think with age and moving up levels in organizations or in your professional career, you think about things differently. And to your point, both of you all's point, when you're younger, you just kind of assimilate and fall back and don't want to push the envelope. Sean, I want to make sure we hit all of the any good one left before we move transition.
I don't have my glasses on, so can somebody else see that?
Oh,
Is there a version of code switching that's empowering instead of restrictive?
Okay, that's actually interesting because Allison has been chastising us in these comments.
I know.
Basically saying we ain't shit because we should speak
all,
the King's English.
I want to speak to Allison real quick. I specifically said that code switching doesn't necessarily have to be negative. I said that.
I mean, but we are speaking
just
about
like
it.
she don't listen to my ass.
I don't think it's negative.
But we are speaking about it as in a negative way. And
no,
I
don't think it's negative. I think we're speaking about it in a disingenuous way.
Oh,
it's not negative, it's just not genuine.
And
that don't necessarily that's not authentic. It's not who you are. Just be you. So I think that's what we're saying. We're not saying, oh, it's bad, you should never do it, it's never acceptable. We're saying it's not authentic. And if we're talking about authenticity and we're talking about us people of color showing up in
as
spaces
ourselves,
as ourselves,
right,
then I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Right. And I think, and to that point, the example I gave earlier about the gentleman that was doing his presentation at the open house last night, I didn't find him.
Whatever. we don't want to hear from you, Chris.
Nobody cares.
I love you, Chris. I love you,
cares.
Chris. I think I don't want to say that code switching is necessarily makes you unprofessional or makes you to your point, Erica, it makes you feel at least less authentic. Mm-hmm. And my question then is, and I know we just kind of sort of asked one, but do we feel, this is a more important question to me, do we feel that spaces are changing enough for us to feel, and I'm not saying just for us in our advanced age and careers, in other spaces.
My age ain't advanced.
It's my age ain't advanced.
Lady, you were just talking about perimenopause on your face. You a little advanced.
Don't bust out. Do we feel like these spaces are changing so that people, particularly our young people, can feel more authentic, wearing their dreads, having tattoos, speaking in a way that's professional, but still has a little bit of their ethnic flavor infused in it?
I would say it depends.
Sure.
I hate a depends answer, right?
But
I think it depends on your environment, right?
I think it depends on your profession.
I think if you are a hedge fund manager, you're going to have a harder time being yourself than if you're a marketing manager, right? I think there are some spaces that allow for you to come in your complete and whole authentic self, whatever that is, whether you a boy that wears nails and eyeshadow. I don't think you can go to Wall Street like that. I think there are some environments where you not have to. It may be more advantageous for you to show up as a little less than authentic to be able to move forward. It's unfortunate, but I think that is true in certain environments. I will say, I think the scope has broadened. Like, I think teaching, you can show up as your authentic self. Tech, you can start showing up as your authentic self. Marketing, obviously, you both in marketing in some way, or PR, or PR.
I do comms.
Like communications, I think you can show up as more as your authentic self. And I also think, depending on where you sit in the org chart, right?
Facts.
I think if you are C-suite, you can come in pajamas every day. Nobody's gonna say anything, right?
But you couldn't come in pajamas until you got there.
This is my point, right?
Oh, okay.
Like, I think even if you're like VP, I think once you start getting those like real high level leadership positions, you can become like super authentic, like almost unrealistic authentic.
Right, I need you to. That was gonna be, and actually, before we about to transition real soon.
I got one thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was gonna say what I was gonna ask but as a rhetorical question, not to be answered. Do we think white people show up unauthentically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they code switch?
Absolutely.
I believe.
I don't know if it's code switching.
But I don't think it's code switching.
But this is different because
it's different.
they wrote the code, so we can't call it.
I think they definitely take on personas until they can't no more, and then
Yeah.
they start coming to work with
I
cats
agree.
all over their desk or
I
something.
agree. I agree.
Erica.
What I was gonna say is to answer your question. I
Mhm.
think that we are. I think we're at a turning point because I think that when I look at Gen Z, they are a lot because of social media and their access to people who live outside of their communities and their access to things that are completely different than them. They have a completely different perspective of everything,
Yeah.
right? They see people different. They see differences the way that we taught them to as like advantageous to companies, as advantageous to organizations. So I think our generation is on the cusp of the change. I think the generation behind us won't care at all.
I disagree. I think Gen
what-
X is just as big of a gatekeepers as the boomers.
Gen X, they about to go.
You know,
we damn near. Hold on.
They about to
That's what
go.
we're saying. We're damn near
Yeah, they're
boomers, boo.
gone.
And
We are
that
boomers.
About to go.
right.
What do you mean, damn near? We are boomers.
So we're out of there soon.
The
We're talking
X's
about
are
the
gone.
young people.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the kids.
And A.
Okay, fair. All
The
right.
folks
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
us,
yeah.
Z and A don't care, not one bit.
That's fair. Yeah.
And so if we're already like at that turning point, just imagine how much easier it's going to be for Z and A. Because I hope that Black people right now who are in positions of power, authority, that have some type of influence in the spaces that they're in are changing the narrative. I ain't code switching nothing. And I will say that in a meeting, just like I said it. Because
I ain't code switching.
I ain't code switching nothing. I ain't
gonna be all confused. Like
I ain't doing no, but I will say I ain't doing that. Like I will do that in a minute, or that's not my team's job. Like I will do it in a heartbeat because I feel like that's who I am. Or let me think about it. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Like I will show up like that in the spaces I'm in.
That's hilarious.
Because I just don't. I have grown weary of trying to pretend anymore. Either I'm good enough, smart enough, whatever. I'm enough. And the way I know how to behave professionally. I know how to dress professionally. Y'all see I got my turtleneck on. It's not a turtleneck, but y'all know what I mean.
She got her
But it's
shell
all the way
on.
up to here. It's all the way up there.
This how we know I'm old.
Yeah, if
She
I
got
had
a
my
shell
clothes on, it'd be down here. But you know, I got my work clothes on. So like I know how to show up professionally. I know how to present professionally. If the words that are coming out of my mouth are professional, then if I hit y'all with a little girl, please, every now and then, y'all just gonna have to take it. Just take it.
I'm not mad at it.
Take it and leave me alone.
I'm
We
not
are
mad
ready
at
to
it.
move on to. Not that we haven't enjoyed this conversation.
I have,
She said
and
she's
I
been close
have.
between Pepper-
And I have, because when I was trying to make a point, I see, and that's the point you don't get, Alison. What I was saying is speaking professionally is not code switching.
No, that's what she was saying. That's what she's saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like
she agrees.
No, she's not, because she's saying I've been code switching.
No, she's saying that speaking proper English necessarily isn't
right.
code
That's what I'm
switching.
saying. Speaking, and I don't call it proper English. I call it professional English. Speaking professional
I
English.
actually don't think that's
it's
what
not
Allison's
code,
saying.
she's
at
not.
all.
She did say that
She's
earlier.
saying I'm code switching because at one point I'm speaking professional English, and then the next one I'll be like, girl, please.
Right, that's what she's saying. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't think that's true. I think that when you are professional in professional settings, I get what you're saying, Allie, but I don't agree. Because if I am saying I'm presenting in a meeting, no, even then I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. There's a difference between, like, that's what I was saying earlier. There's a difference between me going off the rails with AAVE, using a completely different language, and then me being my authentic self. I think that those are two different things.
I agree.
I agree.
Me being my authentic self will be like, hey girl.
Yeah.
Right?
All right,
I don't
so-
think that that's code switching.
Yeah.
I think that's authenticity. I think that code switching in that instance would be
that's what
me
I was
Okay,
saying.
all
saying,
right,
oh,
I stand corrected.
sorry.
Allison did not say that.
That's what she said.
okay, yeah, professional English is not code switching. I
Yeah.
agree. It's not.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a meeting with Black people and they're not speaking professional English, I'm not mad about it.
I kind of enjoy it, actually.
I love
I
it.
kind of like it.
I'm very
Hold on.
excited about it.
Let's being around Black people that aren't doing it, being around other people that aren't doing it.
That's fine. I
don't like
love
that.
it.
Oh, no, but they're not.
No,
but it's
I
not,
like
no,
it.
No. I'm not talking about their hey girlin' and
Yeah, I don't like
and
that.
it's Karen, hey
don't,
girlin'.
don't do that bullshit.
No. What I'm saying is they're doing their own.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
Chris.
little- yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
I
don't
agree.
care.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I'm saying.
I agree.
Erica.
Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
Thank you, appreciate you, love you.
Bye. Love y'all.
Cora, if you don't mind, we're gonna transition to the next topic. This video will lead us in.
right? I mean, you're not just working together, but starting a fast-growing business together, which is about one of the most intense things you can do, and you're married, and you have a baby, right?
Yeah.
So that's intense. How does that work?
It really is great. Like we've learned over the years how to work well with each other, and through a lot of counseling as well, and through a lot of advice of others. But the good thing is we complement each other really, really well.
Yep.
And so, I mean, thank goodness that his strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa, because this company could not function if we did not have that awesome partnership. And we do see things from a completely different perspective, which I think is unique because we can challenge each other's ideas. And generally, we kind of fall in the middle somewhere. And so it's been a lot of fun. I mean, he went really CG full-time about 1.5 years ago. And I think it's been one of the best things for the company. And it's really helped us to get to the next level. And with his skill set, we need that to get even further along as we keep growing. So. And
just a couple comments on it. So if you are thinking about working with your spouse, I think there's 3 phases. The first is you're thinking it's going way better than it's really going. It's like the honeymoon phase. And then it's like becomes impossibly hard. And that's when most people just call it quits. But if you can press on and work on communication, role clarity, and trust, I think those are some of the big factors. Then you can get to the third phase, which is this is amazing. Like I'm spending a lot of my time on earth at work and away from my family. But when you work with your spouse, we're getting to spend so much of our time together, and the business has really become our family.
Yeah.
So I think that being persistent in that is super important, and then role clarity.
Yeah.
If everybody's doing everything, no one's in charge of anything. And so we organize our world with 3 circles. There's the things that Allie autonomously does, the things that Jeff autonomously does, and then an intersecting circle that neither one of us can make the call until we run it by the other. And that was advice from one of our mentors. If you don't have role clarity, you're going to constantly feel like you either have no power or all the power, and then that's going to make your business partner pretty upset.
What's up, y'all? Hey, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little short segment that leads us into this actual conversation. We're about to discuss love and business. Do those two mix? And if so, how do you make it work? And we have 2 of my favorite people, if I can say this out loud. On my right, my shipping law, my girl Mish, on her 2nd time around on the show. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And she was gracious enough to bring her loving husband.
What she promised you to get you here?
She's paying for dinner.
Hey! I hope it's not out the business account. This is my guy, my I-State fan, my boy Ira. What's going on, baby?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. In the zone version, we love when we pop some in the zone version cherries. That's my line, sister. Look at that. That's my answer.
She got excited. She done yelled at us about codes, but she's like, "Hey, girl, hey."
Go, lead us in, Sean.
All right. I'm really interested in this, right? I don't have a business with anybody I'm in a relationship with, so I'm very interested in that in this. Do you schedule time to not talk about, first of all, do you guys want to plug your business? What do you do? What is it that you guys do together?
Absolutely. You want?
No, I'll let you go.
So we own a home care business. So home care, where we hire caregivers to help elderly individuals with their activities of daily living. So that could be meal preparation, medication reminders, helping with bathing, grooming, transfers, things of that nature. So if someone's mobility is challenged, then you have someone there to be able to help them be safe and continue to navigate their space safely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mom moving back in, baby.
I was about to make a joke about how old you are, but
I mean, shit, help me too. That's a debate.
I know that's right.
Yeah, we do it all.
yeah, I'm over.
At you, Ira.
Show's over. We're done. But okay, so now we know that you guys work together. I assume you guys 50-50 split, make all the decisions together, right? Right?
Yeah.
So do you guys schedule time to like not talk about work, or is it to like always there looming in the background, always kind of finding its way into conversations? How does that work, Ira?
Well, actually, no, you can't, because it's always looming, because you're constantly living in it. You know, it's actually our business is 24/7. So you have clients, you have caregivers, you got a lot of moving parts. We're the back office. I still work corporate. I still work my corporate job full time, and Michelin's front facing into the business. So it's a lot of moving parts. So you have to be quick on your feet. You have to make good decisions, calm decisions, and you're gonna butt heads a lot of times, which we do.
How do you guys navigate it always kind of being there in the background of your relationship, right? Like date nights. I don't know if you guys have children, home life. How do you navigate that?
And the butting heads.
And the butting heads,
Yeah. So I mean, we do have children. We actually have a lot of moving parts in general, and maybe that has helped build our muscle to be able to navigate through that space too. So we have Ira's still working in corporate. I'm forward facing with the business full time in. We have 2 boys, 15 and 12, that play basketball, football, and have social lives that we try to help them navigate through as well. I still have my mom who's 82, that I'm actually kind of, and she's in a space in life right now that I'm helping her through that time as well.
Is that what kind of motivated you to start?
As far as the business, no. So do you want me to go into that, or?
Well, let's finish that first part.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think that may have built our muscle for being able to just kind of deal with all of the moving parts that come along with business and being like because when you're in business ownership, you are the everything. Like you all were talking in the earlier segment about different departments, the market, and it's like when you the business owner, you handling all of those things. So it is a lot of moving parts, but you just got to be adaptable. That's what I've learned. Like if I learn anything about how we can kind of navigate through this together, is just increasing your ability to be adaptable.
How do you guys navigate our disagreements, misalignments?
Yeah. So I would say it's always a work in progress. We have a business coach that helps us kind of level set where we are and to set specific goals. We've actually started to do like weekly business, owners corners meeting, just to really kind of talk about the financials, the profit and loss, and the whole thing, and where we want to go, where we want to grow. So it's a lot of moving parts. Just to segment a little bit, because on y'all last segment, the whole code switching spoke a lot to me, because I still work in corporate, and a lot of those things that y'all spoke of, I've been told by Black coworkers in the past, you need to make yourself small, in meetings, or you need to close absolutely. You need to close your legs, or you're not, you're not presenting the right way. You have a certain nomenclature that comes from you, and that like coming from, my parents.
Aaron said that it comes from us. Usually.
Coming from, parents from Mississippi who have that Southern dialect. I think we always make other races of people comfortable. If you're Italian, you want to honor their Italian heritage. If you're Jewish, if you're Middle Eastern, they have a heavy dialect. You always leaning in to understand them more. But when it comes to like Juneteenth or things that mean something to you, they are kind of dismissive. So, maybe around that COVID time, a little bit before, I just, decided like, man, I just wanted to, let's create a culture and climate that we can control, that we can actually have our imprint. Because in corporate, it can be, I'm in pharmaceutical and medical device sales and marketing, it's up and down. They downside, they call it downsizing all the time. So when you're doing that for 20 odd years, you're like, man, I just want to be able to do something that's for me. And that's where we kind of came into this space. So
that's interesting. I'm curious. So how do you all, this is a little bit piggybacking off the last question, but how do you all divide with everything you got going on? Your corporate space, your front facing, you got the kids, you got each other, right? That's a whole ball of wax in and of itself. How do you separate, or can you separate? And if you do, how do you separate the business from you all? Right? Like, so when I ask this to say, when you have kids, right? A lot you go to dinner and it's just you all and have the conversation as a parent and talk about their kids, right? So now you got have the conversation to kids, have the conversation to business. Like, how do you all figure that out?
I mean, I feel like I know a lot of times folks will ask like about people's strengths. I will honestly say that is the strength that Ira has. That he is like, he shuts some stuff down. You know, the looming is like, okay, enough with the looming. Like, we're not doing that. So he is the one that kind of makes the strong stop, or, you know, that hard stop on, because he's navigating too. He's navigating the part that he works in the business, and then also the corporate that he's working. So when he just want to be family, we family. Yeah.
Come on, Ira.
but then also you want your kids to see a lot of what you're doing, because one of the things is like, I call it the golden handcuffs, the first and 15th of the month. Nothing wrong with it, but
What is the golden handcuff?
The first and 15th of the month.
The first and 15th of the month. That
That's
you know
paychecks.
that your paycheck.
Oh, paycheck.
Yeah, you know your paycheck is going to come
Okay.
the first and 15th.
I was
every
like,
month.
my brain was not catching that. Anyway.
And it's always something dangling to, you know, this bonus, this added raise, you know, just now I'm a senior level, you know, and nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. But what I always wanted my boys to see is like, you know, where do you want to see your lifestyle? What do you want to be? And now that's who you want to be in order to get into a business, in order to support that lifestyle. You know, so, and part B, don't go to college and be African American studies and think that's going to support this portion.
Hey, we still need that.
I understand. But
You just can't do it.
Yeah, but don't.
Well, it has to be focused. If you're going to be a professor of African American studies,
exactly.
then that's a different vibe.
It's a different. But also,
no, you won't get this home health care.
He just want them out our pockets.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I respect it.
Exactly.
Girl.
Do you guys have the kids involved, or at least the 15-year-old, right?
Yeah.
He actually does. He works for the business. He started, he's a year now.
Yeah.
So he does mostly administrative tasks, but the tasks that we give him are for, just like Ira said, to learn the business. So he can learn certain things about the business. But even the 12-year-old now, most of the time they learn because they're ear hustling. So they learn about like the professional part of the business and different ways we conduct ourselves with that business part.
Wouldn't know what ear hustling is.
Yes. And then they also hear, you know, some of those more challenging things too, where they probably thinking to themselves like, you know, like, is this something that I, you know, necessarily want to get into? And with that being said, because, you know, when we're managing people and all of those different dynamics because of the business we run, we have never told them, though, that we're expecting them to take this business over. But more than anything, I believe what we're just trying to show them is that they can own and run their own business. For sure.
Entrepreneurship is a possibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I got to be better as a mom. I feel like I failed a little bit.
Not at all.
Well, God damn it, Jakari, you a whole professor in African American studies. Let's not do that.
He is Dr.
Right.
Black Jesus.
Right.
So you started this business. You guys obviously have had to learn how to speak to each other, not just as husband and wife, but as co-CEOs or C-suite or whatever you guys, however those labels land for you guys. Have you found that it has improved your marriage relationship, or has it presented like new challenges? Can you guys talk about that a little bit?
I would say, I mean, relationships are hard, period. You know, just men and women are different, you know what I'm saying, as far as emotions, expectations. So I think it's a work in progress. I don't think you like get to a level and it's like, okay, now it's a well-oiled machine. Like, we've had this discussion, let's move on to this next level. I think we have an overarching goal where we want to be, and we try to achieve that goal together. But it's all, I mean, it's a lot.
No, Ira, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You didn't answer the question, brother.
I appreciate that answer, but that is not a question. Let's go to his loving wife.
No, he can't get off that easy.
No.
Ira, is it easier or harder?
It's hard. I mean, I sleep on the couch some night.
You ain't make payroll.
Me and the dog. Right. I look for my direct deposit. I'm like, did she put it in?
Right, because I'm the one running payroll.
Did she put my direct
Absolutely.
deposit in?
Yes, indeed. Because you have bills. You have bills.
Like,
Right,
you
right.
didn't hold up to your end.
Exactly.
Of the
Right.
Not at all.
Exactly.
If Mr. LaBelle is business.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him his money so he can take care of his business.
Exactly.
From your perspective, has it made your relationship easier? Has it presented new challenges? What do you think?
I think, yeah, for sure it presented new challenges because now we have to learn how to communicate and problem solve, not only in our personal relationship, but now our business too. But I mean, with anything, challenges help you grow,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some days it's tough to the point where it's like, look, this is business and we ain't going to stay together for nothing else. We going to stay together because we got this business.
Right?
Now we got another handcuff.
Listen, another.
Right.
And I know you mentioned that you have the business coach. I got that right.
Mhm.
Do you guys also?
Which is dope, by the way.
I'm very impressed by that. Do you guys also, and this may be prying, if this is too personal, definitely tell me to shut the fuck up.
Mhm.
But do you guys also have a therapist that you guys work with, maybe to help support disagreements or misalignments specifically in your marriage
Look
that
at
may
you
be a
trying.
consequence of the business?
Trying to start some yes.
I started this by saying it's a
Ira, like, she been trying to get me to
Look
go.
You know that look.
It's a nosy question. So this is Ira saying, shut the
Look
fuck
at it,
up.
right.
Okay, next question.
No, seriously, no. So, just to be totally honest, I don't necessarily believe in that.
That's fair.
I don't. But Mishla does. She leans into it, and we've been butting heads lately, and it's been evident that
You may want to take a different position on that.
Yeah. So that's just being,
Sorry.
you can't draw a line in the sand.
Sorry.
You have to be flexible as far as who you are as a couple, as a business, and if you're going to continue to grow, you can't say, okay, this is how I'm going to be. It's not like that 1960s attitude as far as I'm a man and I'm just going to hold it all in. No, she needs this. This is going to be good for our relationship, our marriage. Let's explore it. So
I appreciate
Sounds
you
like you're
being
growing
open.
as a person. Is
well,
what's-
yeah,
yeah.
I want to continue to grow.
We don't even got that. He already. I was like, yes.
And I like what Black Jesus, shout out to Jakari, said,
Jakari.
right? Like, therapist is to tell you what happened and the coach is to tell you what to do next, right? And I think that's a really good way of looking at how they can add value to your relationship, for sure.
Let me ask this. I'm a little bit of a quick rapid fire because we got a little time, but I want to make sure we hit this. What's more likely to get canceled, a meeting or date night?
Ooh.
A meeting.
And y'all said
They know this a meeting.
A meeting, but that's meeting each other, because one person probably will want to still keep the meeting, where the other person is like, nah, we gonna get back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Same, Ira.
No, seriously, no. We like to enjoy ourselves. We like to have a balance. We like to travel.
Definitely like to enjoy yourself. I love that about you.
No, so we will cancel a meeting before we do a date night.
Well, if it's a meeting, but let me just keep it 100.
Well, do y'all turn the date night into a meeting?
No.
Hopefully not.
No.
Good. I love that.
No.
What advice? Wait, do you done with the rapid fire?
Well, I'll come back to that one.
No, we can.
No, keep going.
We gotta get better
We
on
got-
this question.
We got time.
Anyway, what advice would you give couples talking about going into business? Would you even encourage it? Would you say absolutely not? Keep that shit separate? Like, what do you think?
No, I would encourage it. I think if you are really committed to being in your relationship and the longevity of your relationship, I think that going into business together just, I just think it just evolves the relationship, if you understand what I mean. I think, the two of you working toward a goal together is just powerful. Yeah. So being in business, for
no
sure.
doubt.
Yeah.
What would you add on to that so that if they do decide to move forward in business, what additional advice would you give them to make them successful in both their marriage and in their business?
Yeah. I think just really learning everyone's strengths, being able to be adaptable, accepting folks for and accepting folks for who they are. Like when you find out that this is your strength and that's theirs, then try to really align the assignments and the way that you all run the business to those strengths to help everybody be successful. Because you don't want to look for things. You don't want to look for things to kind of nag about as far as when it comes to what you may feel like is like a failure in that. Don't set people up for failure. Really is what I'm trying to say.
All right, Ira, your turn. Would you suggest people get into couples get into business? And if you do, what advice would you give them so that both the marriage and the business will be successful?
So I would say, like, when we were first dating, whatever, older people would say, don't go to bed mad. Like that's the worst advice you could probably give to a couple. Like, don't go to bed mad. Like, but I would say always put something to challenge yourself in business, because it keeps yourself sharp. Like, so we're at a point where I think some of our friends, not all of them, are starting to think about retirement. Like, but I'm really looking at what's the next iteration of us. Like, where are we going to go next? Like, I'm looking into, like, I have to keep my mind sharp. I'm like, sitting at home for me on the couch watching like, that's not me. Like, I don't see myself doing that. So, but I do see myself being able to afford travel and a certain level of care if something happens to me, or a certain lifestyle, because things are getting more expensive. So let's plan for that. So.
You got some more rapid fire questions? Some more messy questions for them?
That wasn't messy. and I do I do love that. Yeah. That sentiment, right? Like, me and Sean was having this conversation the other day. You don't want to get sedentary, right? Like, I don't want to be sitting in a rocker watching Judge Judy all day. This is not who I am and how I want to move.
I do if I'm in Italy.
I don't care where I am.
Really, it's totally fine.
Actually, Allie asked a question. I'm curious, and you have a business coach, is from what I understand it. But do you have other couples that are in the same space you're in, trying to do business together, that you kind of interact with to bounce ideas off of, conversations, frustrations?
I think we establish relationship with people that are in similar businesses, but not like particularly couples. Not necessarily couples. Okay. So like people that are in the business that are where we want to be. Because there are people who have navigated this space and they're like, man, I'm like, well, that's where we want to be. Yeah. So that's kind of where we are. And home care, I'm not saying everyone's not in home care, but you don't see a lot of us in the business as couples.
Yeah.
Right. Now, one thing about the business that we're in, Assisting Hands, is a franchise model. And a lot of the people in our area actually do run their business as married couples, though. So because when you're in a franchise model, you do have those opportunities to connect with them. So I would say from that regard, we have people that are married that we can connect with, but they aren't necessarily friends.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that intentional, that you're not like building a friendship with them? Maybe they just not your type of people. I don't know. Not to shade anybody.
No, yeah. So, you know what? I don't think it's intentional, but I am have grown to be lean into my authenticity. So it's gonna have to really be a natural thing for me personally to actually establish a friendship. I can be, an associate with folks. We can be cordial. We can talk business. We can relate even in the fact of, being married couples running a business together. But it's a different level for me to be a friend.
Okay.
Thanks.
Now, Brian, we done skipped all over you.
What about me?
Don't think you gonna get away with not at least talking a little bit. Now, I am aware that you and Allie do a little bit of work together. So I guess my question for you is, does any of this resonate with you? Like which parts? Don't be giving me one short ass answer. We do podcasts. Linger, talk more. What parts? Like, what can you relate to that they've talked to a little bit?
Well, first, let me thank my partner for even bringing this up as a topic. This was her suggestion, and I appreciate her thinking about it as something we can have a conversation around. A lot of it resonates with me. I think that it's important to a lot of what Mission IRF said is so crucial and important. I think what we found is that we are, if you know me and Allison, two completely different people. The way we move, the way we operate, the way we speak, the way we but that's what kind of brought us together. And we operate business a little bit different as well. I'm more of a risk taker, more of a fly by the seat of his pants. We'll figure it out. Nah, let's take this risk. And Allison's way more like, what's the spreadsheet say? What's the this say? What's the financial forecast say? Where the hell did you get a financial forecast from?
I know that's right.
Like, who did this for you? But
Google.
I know AI do all that shit too. But my point is that because we have different ways of making it happen, sometimes it's extremely frustrating, right? Like, I don't get why you so restrictive, and I don't get why you so loose. But to do that sometimes, to say, babe, let's take this risk, and for her to run the numbers and say, all right, that's a risk worth taking, is where the balance meets.
Nice.
And I think that's, if I would say anything for couples that are doing this, that's what I would say. You got to find the balance. You got to find a balance in your relationship, period. You got a lot going on. This is adding another layer to it. But if you can figure out, you know what I'm saying, how to make all of that work together. And I think Mitch said this, like, you add another layer onto it that makes it a little even more, people would find it, some people would say it's more stressful. Like, you add more stress on your relationship. I would say you're adding more vulnerability and investment in your relationship. Like, we've invested in these kids, we've invested in each other, we've invested in this business. You ain't going nowhere.
Are y'all saying that this is a real interesting way to divorce-proof your relationships? Is that what y'all saying?
It ain't not divorce proof, but it helps.
Right. I'm just saying. I'm like, is that what I mean?
Right.
When you got to figure out how to split up some kids, some money, and a business, girl, let's go to Applebee's and figure this talk this shit out with riblets.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's hilarious. Oh. All right. Well, I don't know. Did we agree on how to close this thing out? No. Yes. Maybe.
Oh, yes. It's time for B. Foster's words of wisdom.
We did not agree to do this 2 weeks in a row.
But that's what we got, because you didn't say otherwise.
You're right.
Oh shit, my bad. No worries. That's like I played where that came from.
Well, while he's
I
digging
got
up
it. I'm ready.
that, thank you, Ira.
No, thank you.
I want them here while I do this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe the words of wisdom have to do with them.
It has to do with this topic, actually.
Okay. Well,
Right now.
come on,
Hold on,
let's.
God damn it, I keep knocking it over.
Foster's words of wisdom. We are not doing this next week.
We didn't decide.
I know.
So
This was my fault.
You left me to my own devices.
This
Thank
is
you,
my
co-hostess.
Well, I'm looking forward to the wisdom.
Come on, put the wisdom. Come on.
It's from false. It ain't that wise. it's wise, but it ain't
Hold on.
that
All right,
wise.
so here's my words. I didn't have to look it up. I remembered it now. Sometimes it is better to ask forgiveness than it is permission, because shit gotta get done. That was my word of wisdom this time last year. Sean?
First of all, this is my mantra at work. I tell every manager, every coworker I work with that I am a very strong, I rather ask forgiveness than permission. I do not wait for people to tell me what I think I need to do. I do it, and if it's not what I need to do, then I'll recalibrate. Definitely strong proponent for that.
Come on now. Everybody don't do this. Ira, what you think?
No, so what? Words of wisdom?
No, he's
For
your
that
reaction
word
to
of
the
wisdom.
words of
No,
wisdom.
No.
reaction to that word
It
of
definitely has to get done. And sometimes you don't have to, you can't ask permission to get things done. Like, I'm thinking of 3 things I got to get done, and I'm not even asking permission about tomorrow. But it has to, the shit got to get done. So.
Yeah.
Sean say, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that I have definitely grown to. So Ira is that person in our relationship. But when you talked about balance before, that's actually where he balances us out. Like when you like stuff got to get done, I'll almost in my head, because I'm trying to be so calculated, I'll talk us out of, something.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah. So I think definitely he is. I'm not gonna ask permission. It got to get done, and then if the forgiveness come, it come. And because I'm such a forgiving person,
And I'm sure most of the time when he makes it happen, it happens.
Absolutely.
And he ain't gonna even ask you like, yeah, baby, I had to make a call. And you like, do that shit, baby.
Right. Yeah, you ain't lying. We didn't have the time where we ran through the airport
to try to make sure that we got on this one flight that we need to get on. But anyway, that's to say that he definitely makes things happen for
Come
sure.
on now.
Okay.
Come on now.
All
All right.
Words of wisdom.
Come
Lord
on.
have mercy. Next
Foster-
week. We are not doing this next
I
week.
kind of like Foster's words of wisdom. We should keep that as a natural.
No.
Anyway, I think we will. Thank you all again for watching another episode of In the Zone Podcast in the books. We appreciate our guest for the day. This is really an interesting conversation. I appreciate you all contributing to it. Sean, any final thoughts you want to give before we close it up?
No more Brian's words of wisdom. 2 weeks was enough.
Fine. Ira, any final thoughts you got on this?
No, I appreciate the conversation and the dialect and just the code switching and talk about people in business, couples in business. Man, I think it's a powerful subject matter. So
Appreciate you, brother.
keep on doing.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
My final words are: if folks are thinking about going into business with their partner, and you scared to do it scared. Just do it. Just do it.
That's my other mantra at work.
Yeah, do it scared.
Just-
Do it scared.
Do it scared.
Yeah.
Just do it. I love it. Hey, listen, I appreciate you all watching. As we wrap this up, I would say my final words are be your authentic self, but always keep it professional. But I don't think being your authentic self necessarily means you're not professional. I think sometimes people confuse the two.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are talented, if you are skilled, if you are adept, if you are killing it, if you are your authentic self, particularly in this day and age right now, as this culture and climate changes in our corporate spaces, people going to keep you around because it is hard to find good talent.
Yep.
And they will not worry about you having black fingernail polish if you do what you do well. I am just saying. And on the couples or doing business together, I would say take that risk. If you find something you all find interesting together, something you want to invest in together, or even if it's you supporting your partner and something it resonates with them in some way, make it happen. We all need multiple streams of income. We all need other ways to get around these financial handcuffs, as Ira put it earlier, right? We want to do our own thing and have our own way to retire comfortably earlier than possible, or earlier than usual, I should say. Go ahead and take that risk. And if it strains the relationship a little bit, that's all right. A little strain builds strain.
That's right.
All right, y'all. We'll see you all next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock Central. Talk to you then.
In his own podcast. 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 In his own podcast.